Hello guys, once again it's Matt and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons, make sure to subscribe and let's get into it guys. A lot of talks have been made about the magic missiles guys, so I really wanted to talk a little bit about it. Should it be buffed or not? A lot of sources claim that it should turn 50 Gs. So why is that? Let's talk a little bit about that. What Gaijin responded to these sources and stuff. And with the conclusion about if these needs to be a buff or not to the magic missiles, both the 1 and the 2, okay? So I did some research and it's hard to actually understand what they are actually, saying, but in a simple way as I can actually explain this, basically they are saying that first of all, we have a normal way of missiles working in the game right now. So even in real life, these missiles did this. Like for example, the normal A9s and the R60s, for example, they have the rollerons, right? The devices that create gyroscopic stabilization on the missile so that it doesn't roll on itself, right? This really helps stabilization of missiles, and it's a needed thing to actually have a reliable missile. If not, you would have like an SRAM kind of situation that the missile can just topples around, especially after it loses the thrust, and especially when not having thrust vectoring and stuff. So it's something that makes the missile work. So this is needed to be added to a missile, some form of roll stabilization, okay? The problem is that missiles have 4 fins, right? And depending on the angle that the missile is actually, the target is actually pulling the Gs from, it would mean that it's not the optimal condition for the fins to actually make that roll, that turn, right? Not the roll, the turn. Because they are stabilized in roll, so they cannot actually make the proper adjustments for the fins to have the most amount of AOA possible to actually do the turn, while pulling as much as they can, the best possible way with the other fins to actually accompany the turn of it, not only the climb, the turn as the same way, right? This would be a dual plane kind of situation of a turn. In game we only have the single plane, not being the most optimal condition ever, right? So the AOA and stuff like that will be less optimal than it should, just due to the fact that these missiles are stabilized on roll, okay? This is a normal problem with A9s, with R60s, but the more we go into the future, more missiles will have different systems. And the Magic is one of the first ones that actually use this type of system, which is a rolling device on the fins of the missile, making it so that it actually maintains a very good stabilization on the rolling capacity, but putting the fins on the optimal condition at the same time, while not losing the control of the missile to actually make the best turn possible. So you can see it on the screen right here that this is a magic missile, okay? So these are fixed fins and these are movable. The thing is that these apparently roll, and making the whole missile roll, especially after, with the air, right, with speed. This will maintain itself on place with the air, the drag and basically the stabilization of the air. And obviously the roll would make the missile roll, sorry. And with the movable fins here rolling to a direct position, for example, right here or up top or whatever it needs to actually have the most optimal condition for a turn to a target. So this is more optimized while continue to having the stabilization of the roll. So I hope that wasn't too difficult to understand, but basically the Magic has apparently in real life a roll system that makes the fins be in the optimal condition that they need and be able to turn in a dual plane kind of situation, making it be able to be more efficient and turn better. This is where the problem starts. All Gaijin's missiles right now use the single plane mode kind of situation, which is the A9s and R60s older missiles, right? And the Magics in real life, as I said, have this other system. They are apparently investigating this, but it is a problem that I think it caught the attention of people because at the same time that they say this roll capacity exists, also the same sources claim that they are able to do the 50G. So a lot of people are just assuming that the 50G turn is able to be done due to this fact, right? So this is where the problem starts. So Smin actually posted this. There was a bit of a miscommunication with the Magic 1 and 2 50G overload. They are saying that in the game right now, G-forces are only used in a singular plane for all missiles, you know? But they are investigating the report on the ability of the Magic to roll on its flight. But it is not a directly confirmatory statement that the missile can achieve a full 50G in a flight. So for the time being, the most accurate and reliable figure of 35 Gs will continue to be used until any new information comes to light. They also say that the devs wanted to make it clear that even the 35 Gs upper peak overload of the missile, which is achieved only at a certain moment of the reaching of the maximum velocity under optimal conditions, so obviously very low altitude, for example, for more air density and other stuff like this, or on the trajectory, the overload is significantly lower, especially on approaching a target. This goes for every missile, okay? Every missile has a peak G that it can turn, and normally will not turn them as much, especially when it starts to lose energy and speed, right? So this is where the problem starts, right? There are many sources that claim the 50Gs and many sources that claim the actual rolling fins of the Magic. But we don't have any of these. So this is where the actual problem, I think, begins, right? That they need to at least investigate these more to actually confirm or deny if, you know, these rolling capacities is real at first. That would probably increase the... I wouldn't think that the max G would be increased just because of that. I mean, they can still maintain it at 35G, but making it be able to reach that max peak G quickly and maintaining it during this flight a little bit more time, for a little bit of more time, right? And also investigate the 50Gs, if it's actually real or not, that it can get to 50Gs. As they said, actually, they are going to continue to use the 35G on its number. So don't expect any buff for now, at least. But there are some sources, some things that I wanted to talk about. The first thing is that there are multiple sources confirming that it can hit these numbers, so investigating is needed there. The second thing is that in real life, the missile could actually pull up to at least 20 degrees of AOA in its fins. Right now in the game, it can only pull 15.3, kind of problematic, so maybe with that, together with the rolling capacity there, it would be able to actually do the 50Gs, I don't know. Third is that Gaijin isn't really simulating this yet in general for any missiles that would receive this type of thing or not. So, you know, it's a problem that it might be like a feature that it needs to be added for some of the missiles in the future. I don't know if there is any other missiles that use this. I don't think so, because even the Python 3 uses rollerons, but still. Fourth is that although they are using, even though the sources they are using, they say that apparently, not that they're using, but there are sources claiming that the roll did happen, they're still investigating. So we need to have patience with this, even though it's been a while since people were asking for this. And the final thing is that the energy calculations, it might never get to 50 Gs, according to Gaijins, you know, or at least for a very brief time. So maybe a buff will happen, but it won't be as impressive as saying it's a 50G missile, you know. I know it's kind of sad, but it might not be as good the way that they add it anyway, right? So, I don't know. We need to have patience nonetheless. The conclusion of all of this is that we need more research, you know. It's really hard to find information that is very, very good on it. But, I mean, if it ever gets added, these fin AOAs together with the rolling, at least that, even without the 50Gs, it would still be an amazing missile. It is one of the best missiles in the game. I still consider it literally the second best missile, like only to the Python 3. And even the Python 3 has some stuff like the IRCCM of it that the MatAWG, due to its FOV, feels like the IRCCM of it is stronger. It's not really, but the FOV makes it you feel like that. So you will see MatAWG ignoring a little bit more flares than even the Python 3, even though it doesn't turn as much as the Python 3. So even that you need to be careful. You know, the MatAWG is already one of the best missiles in the game by far. You know, so yeah. And there is a logic that needs to be added over here. The MatAWG 1 especially is a 1968 missile. I don't think they actually could do that, a 50G on that time. I might be wrong, I don't know, but it feels weird, you know? It's not a really scientific way to look at it, but it feels kind of weird. And there are other reports about IRCCMs, for example, that the MatAWG 2 needs. I need to actually take a proper look on that. I might do a video on that as well, if you guys want to. But apparently it has an IRCCM that is better than the R73 ones. So yeah, it's problematic. But the thing is, the final conclusion really is that this missile is suffering from the same thing, I think, as the R27T actually got. And some of the other missiles that might receive that, you know, problem with it, which is they don't have the proper figures sometimes, so they try to use it the best possible that they have as a confirmation, a proper 100% confirmation. I say this because of the IRCCM, for example, on the R27T. A lot of sources claim that it's much better than it is in the game right now. Right now in the game, it only changes the FOV circle. And in some sources, it claims that it has a different seeker that can ignore frequencies and fly with INS for a little bit of time and then basically reignite the IR seeker again, and then it keeps doing that until it hits the target. So it's really hard to actually avoid a missile like that. But in the game we only have the FOV changing, which is a more confirmed, like, initial IRCCM for the R27T, at least on the first seekers that he got. So I think the MatAWG is suffering from the same type of thing here. They have this information that it's not properly confirmed, so they don't want to jump the gun and make a very OP missile maybe, or something like that. So they are just using the information that they know for sure it's confirmed, which is quite sad for the people that actually want to fly these missiles, fly these aircraft with these missiles in a realistic way, right? I still think that it needs a revising of it. I mean, the rolling apparently is real. The AOA is real. I don't know about the 50Gs, but I mean, there are a lot of sources that claim that. And I mean, gonna be a little bit of a devil's lawyer over here even. I mean, they only have 2 MatAWGs. All the French aircraft only have 2 MatAWGs. So it's not even a big problem, to be honest, of having such a strong missile right now. Eventually we will get the R73 anyway, the A9M anyway, you know, and other more advanced missiles, AAM3s and other stuff. So if this, it doesn't need to happen right now, but if this buff doesn't happen, France will not only have fewer missiles than other nations with its main fighters until the Rafale, but also, of course, the Mikas right there. I mean, if they add the Mikas, it would be a little bit different, but still. Right now, at least, they would have less missiles and also a less powerful missile even, you know, without these buffs. So, kind of complicated. My opinion is that at least the AOA needs to be added and the rolling capacity to make it be able to hit these 35Gs better if they're not really sure about the 50Gs. At least do that, you know. That would mean that the missile would be having a greater performance while not touching the, you know, the not sure source kind of line of thinking that Gaijin is fearing of getting into, apparently. But yeah, guys, basically this is it. I hope you enjoyed. I know, very long video, but I really wanted to make a video about this. I hope you enjoyed, as I said, and I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye, guys. See you.